Hey everybody, it's Lavender Town, and today I'm going to be taking 3 popular anime style games and transforming them into Western kids cartoons. Basically just doing the style and also transforming the title of the game into a logo. You'll see what I mean by that in just a minute. As you can see, I'm starting off with Doki Doki Literature Club characters. This game was extremely popular right when it came out in 2017, and it's still relatively popular right now. And this is Sayori, Natsuki, and Yuri. It's a super dark, scary game, so if you don't like that, then I don't recommend it, but if you do like that, then it's free on Steam, so you can check it out. But I am just trying to draw them in a way that looks like they could actually be for a kid's cartoon, so obviously the content would have to be quite edited, if that was the case, but basically I'm just trying to really emphasize the things that make Western cartoons look like Western cartoons, so overall I'm just exaggerating the height differences even more. Natsuki is supposed to be much shorter than Sayori, and especially Yuri, who's quite tall, so I made Natsuki an entire head shorter than Yuri, and I also gave them different body types a little bit. They have very similar body types other than their height in the original game, so I'm trying to give Sayori a little bit of a thicker leg, and then Natsuki's very, very slim. There's reasons for that in the game. And then Yuri has just sort of a tall, average sort of figure. For this one, I'm mostly just using my style, which is a Western style, but for the next one, I'm actually going to be imitating a specific Western TV show. But yeah, my style has a lot of really, really round eyes. They're completely closed, like you can see a full line around the whole eye, unlike anime, which often has a top eyeline and then a bottom eyeline. So that's one of the bigger differences. Also, there's just a bigger emphasis on sort of geometric looking shapes. Things look a little bit less realistic. I know anime is not super realistic, but compared to my style, it's pretty realistic. I mean, if you look at the modeling on the legs, it's actually very quite good, I would say. I noticed something interesting about these pictures of them. All of them are spinning. Like, if you look at their skirts, all these characters have been spinning, which is kind of interesting. It's something that a lot of anime artists use when they have characters with skirts to make the picture look like it has more energy, but when you put them all next to each other, it kind of looks like they're doing a dance number or something like that. It's kind of great. But I didn't do that with my cartoon versions of these guys. I kind of like the idea that Sayori's just sort of hopping up on her foot, and that the other girls aren't moving quite that dramatically, so that's actually one way in which I made it a little bit less energetic. And as you can see, I actually stole the Teen Titans Go logo for this one, and I'm calling it Doki Doki Go. At this point, I wanted to bring in a little bit more of the Teen Titans aesthetic, so I had to bump up the colors from my usual pastels. Also, look at this scary thing that happened. Doesn't this look a lot like something that happens in the game? It's really creepy. I didn't do that on purpose. Anyway. So I put the border around the way I actually meant to, and it was finally looking a little bit more like a Western cartoon. I put a big starburst behind them, and with that I was done with our Doki Doki Literature Club kids cartoon. Next up is Yandere Simulator. This game was very popular last year, and even a little bit before that, I think, and it's basically a scary anime style game where you play a girl who's so obsessed with a guy that she likes that she literally wants to kill all her rivals, which is pretty messed up. So I decided to go with an Invader Zim style for this one, especially because the artist for Invader Zim started his career with a comic book about a serial killer, so I thought it would be very appropriate for the Yandere Simulator cartoon to be in Jonan Vasquez's style. So this features a lot of really sharp edges, really, really huge eyes, and just overall a very creepy appearance to all of the characters. So I'm just drawing Yandere-chan and Osana, who's her main rival in the game, and I'm just going to do a basic sort of promotional back-to-back image of them with this whole style, and then create the special Invader Zim style logo for the game. So this one was not too hard for me because I really, really love Jonan Vasquez's style, and I studied a lot when I was younger. I'm sure a lot of my longtime followers have heard me gush on about Jonan Vasquez enough already, but yeah, it's worth mentioning. And Yandere Simulator is a game I think that is still going to be under development for a long time, so all of the footage that you've seen of it is all like beta stuff. So this version of Osana is not even in the playable game yet. She still has short pigtails, but I decided to go with the most accurate one that we have available right now, and also I thought it would be nice to have them have different hair lengths anyway, so Osana has very, very long hair, and then Yandere Simulator, or Yandere-chan, has a shorter ponytail to work with. It's hard to make these cartoons look too Western considering they're wearing a traditional Japanese sailor fuku, but I tried my best. But you'll see how I get around that for the next one in just a moment. So Yandere-chan is really, really crazy. Obviously, she's not the healthiest person, perhaps, so I gave her a really crazed look on her face. I have her knife hiding behind her back, and just generally want to make her look as unsettling as possible. Obviously, it's not as clear to the outside viewer that she's crazy when you look at the actual promotional art for the game. But I feel like in an American cartoon or a Western style cartoon, usually a character is not that nuanced, so we would see right away that she's, a bit of a dangerous kind of person. I did the big black border again because it seems like even in the Invader Zim style that's somewhat of a iconic element. It also makes them really pop off the page, kind of like their stickers or something like that, so I kind of enjoyed that. I also gave them these weird legs. This is actually not a feature of the Invader Zim style, it's just something that I thought would kind of fit interestingly in there. I don't know if I totally love it, but I wanted to try it out. And for this one I'm doing a hard cell shade because that's what Invader Zim has. And I think they're just using a gray multiply layer because I don't see a lot of color out of the shadows in the screenshots that I'm looking at for reference, so I'm not totally sure. I'm really against using grays as shading, but I think that it's the most accurate to the style as far as I can tell. But yeah, now you can see the finished product, Yandere Sim. I like how I just had to flip around the Z and suddenly it says Sim instead of Zim. It's really quite perfect, I think. For our final one, I am doing Danganronpa. As many of you know, I love Danganronpa. I played through both of the games and I watched a bunch of the different anime series, and I just love it. And this is another scary anime game. It seems like all the really popular anime games right now are really, really frightening, other than I guess Mystic Messenger counts, even though it's from Korea. Because Doki Doki Literature Club isn't even from Japan, so it's the anime element is more about the style rather than country of origin or whatever. But anyway, for this one, I wanted to do something a little different because these designs are so Japanese and so uniquely anime. I wanted to try to take these tropes and these characters and give them the fashion that they would probably be given in a modern day cartoon in the US. So basically I am taking Junko as an example of the modern like fashionista, kind of a Forever 21 sort of girl. I'm taking Celeste as the counterculture kind of girl who would have stuff probably from Hot Topic and a little bit more goth, a little bit more of a darker aesthetic. And then I have Mikan to be sort of the unfashionable girl of this age. And I just thought that would be kind of fun to give them completely different outfits and redesign them a bit more rather than just drawing them in a different style. So, first of all, I looked at the stores that I imagine them shopping at. This is something I really recommend doing if you are someone who has trouble coming up with interesting outfits. I sometimes have trouble with that, so it always helps to just try to think of where your character would shop. If they are a modern character, it's quite easy to figure out what they might be wearing. Just imagine where they would like to go if you let them loose in a mall, and then look at the website for that store and just get some inspiration for what's popular there right now. So I chose a crop top with a cutout in it for Junko and a big fluffy coat. Also, these dad caps are still pretty popular. And then I just gave her some high-waisted shorts because those are also not going out of style quite yet. For Celeste, I found her a overall dress with a t-shirt underneath, those little cat thigh-high tights, and then for Mikan, I just did a t-shirt dress and leggings. I imagine she's the type who would like to be comfortable most of the time. I feel really bad for her too, so I just want to give her something comfortable and nice to wear, even though it's a lot simpler than the other two girls. So I'm mostly just using my style for this one as well, though for the logo I will be referencing a specific cartoon. And then as for the colors, I'm just trying to keep them relatively close to the colors that we see the characters actually wearing, though I did make little alterations here and there. And while I was tempted to change their hair to be a little bit closer to what is in fashion for fashionable girls in the West, I thought that might change them a little too much, so I tried to keep that consistent with their original design. Otherwise, they might not look like themselves at all if I changed the style and their outfit and their hair. So after that, I just did some basic blocking in of the shading, and I wanted to play around with some painterly stuff at the end here. So I took a wet blending brush and I just blended out all of that. And at the end, you could see the final result. I took the Powerpuff Girls logo for this one, and I wanted to just make them look like a cute little unit of girls. I know they don't really hang out too much in the original series. But yeah, they were my favorites, and I just wanted to use them as an excuse to do some fashion changes that are sort of regionally based. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was super fun for me. If you have any requests for what I do next, let me know. I'm still trying to do 2 videos a week, so there are lots of spaces for different ideas of what I could do. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the video, and I will see you next time. Thank you to my patrons including Blep, Gaia, Scott Peterson, Weeb, Ellie Quiznak, Miss Misu, BB Dave, Kato Cat, Christy Stewart, Paynamel, Elizabeth Albin, Cal Pompone, Aaron Sawicki, Superpixel, Rebel B, Taka, Disweet12, Harry Kitty Cat, Isabella Spooky, Lovely, Lachlan MD, Mystic, Enjo Jobert, Yoboy ST, JJ Jade, Laura Buter, Angela Taylor, Liblibla, and Addie Visual. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you would like to become a patron, there's a link on the end card and in the description box.